Welcome to episode number 242 of the Canadian Prepper Podcast. We are recording July the 7th, 2024. My name's Eric, host of the show based in Southern Ontario, hunter, shooter, ham radio operator, and computer geek. As a first responder, witnessed an over-reliance on emergency services during major events, started a small preparedness company to help people get better prepared for at least 72 hours, if not longer. And I'm getting way better at reading over the stuff you guys add.
Damn it. Hey everybody, I'm Brad. I'm in Eastern Ontario, part-time amateur prepper, can opener guru, constantly trying to better myself.
My name is Pierre. I'm a tactical beard owner, based t-shirt guru and laser engraving connoisseur, government critique, and the reason we hit the explicit button multiple times every episode.
It's true.
Fucking right.
I'm Terry, live in sunny central Ontario. I'm a starving indie author, a terrible hunter, pathetic fisherman, but a proud Ford owner.
Okay.
Gotta have something positive.
Ford's got to have at least one proud owner.
Yeah,
we need our tax credit.
I'm Greg. I'm a former infantryman, homesteader, all-around DIYer.
Awesome. So Brad.
And if you want to help support the show, you can buy some swag. We have both the Canadian Prepper Podcast t-shirt and the tactical Velcro patch at www.prepperpodcast.ca. All the proceeds help cover our podcast costs.
If you're enjoying the show, please take a few minutes and submit a review wherever you found us. We want your feedback, even if it's bad. We also invite you to reach out and tell us about something you learned this week. You can email us at feedback@prepperpodcast.ca.
All right, so we've got some basic content for you in this episode. We're going to start off with some relevant news articles. We'll update you on our personal preps since the last episode. We're going to get into the main topic. We're touching on basic skills for preppers. But first, we've got an announcement.
Yes. So unfortunately, I will not be at the annual prepper meet this year. Did not work for us, but we do have a giveaway. It'll be podcast-oriented merch t-shirts. So you will have to find Bat Brad, and you have to walk up to him and tell him, "Hello, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help." And he's gonna have some free swag giveaways. I don't even remember what shirts we made, but we've got 2, potentially 4 shirts. I don't even know how many. But he's going to have some free swag, and I did make it fair that the panelists can't walk up to Brad and steal all the merch for you guys. So it can't be panelists winning the shirts, but those are the giveaways. There's a few giveaways, so find Bat Brad, and you got to say the sentence properly. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so looking forward to that, and we'll see who can successfully hunt down Brad. So let's move into the news, shall we? And I see you've got a little thing in there, Brad.
It's hot outside. Oh my God. I spent all day outside yesterday. It's hot.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay.
It's true.
And the other bad part is,
Yes.
because it's so hot, you cannot go to the LCBO to quench your thirst. They are on strike. But I hear that there was a mad dash to all of the convenience outlets in Ontario that are still open. And because of where I work, we do a lot of work with the LCBO warehouse in Ottawa, and they have said that they are still fulfilling orders to convenience outlets and restaurants and bars and venues and whatnot. So most of those will stay open and whatnot, but you just can't buy anything from the LCBO or the warehouse, which really, really sucks.
Yes.
Oh. I guess you could take advantage of one of the episodes we did a while ago with Hughes, where we talked about distilling your own water.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just read between the lines on distilling your own water.
Well, no, because
That's
the
called
next
fire water, isn't it?
I think
No,
it's called
'cause-
fire water.
Yeah.
Because the next step after no alcohol is they're going to turn your water off. That's
I'm
why
on a
it's
well.
supposed-
Good luck.
Yes.
that just shush and
I got a
follow
well
along,
and a
Brad.
brook.
I'm coming to visit you, Greg. You're only 3 hours
Yep.
away.
There we go.
Hey, come on.
Yep. I'll meet you at the border.
All right.
Well,
I'll pick you up.
All right, let's move on to what we've done lately for prep, shall we? And we'll kick off with Brad.
Well, lots of normal work. and lots of working on the redneck camper for the APM coming up. Filling up the jerry cans for the drive to and from. Doing I did once over on the truck, changed a couple of light bulbs, did an oil change last week. Pulled out the Jenny that I'm bringing. Terry told me that there's no real like swapping shop or a swap meet or whatnot, but I have an older Onan Marquee 5,000 watt generator I'm looking to sell, and bringing that with me and see how it goes.
Very nice. Well, for myself, got out to the fish camp for a few days, so it's a nice out in the middle of nowhere, no cell reception kind of spot to go. Got the main HF antenna repaired. It came down a little while ago in some of the big windstorms we had around here. So got that all repaired, patched up, and then put back up in the air. Had a local ham radio club member come out and help me with that. So the assistance with that was greatly appreciated, because getting that 260-foot wire antenna up by myself is quite the feat. So having an extra set of hands was fantastic. And then, of course, getting ready for the annual preppers meet. So that's coming up Thursday.
Yes, it is. So for me, lots of shit. Doing food prep, just getting some stocks up because the prices aren't going down. So we were able to get a little bit of stuff, portioning stuff out, trying to seal it for as good as we can with this vacuum sealed, good tubs sealed away. Did some revamping of the house once again because we have so much stuff everywhere, but at least starting to get most of the preps together. As you guys saw prior to the show, I was like, hey, I know where this is. So yeah, getting all our essentials at least packed up together so we can sort through and get through that. Topped up, I was at work the other day, and of course I had a pounding headache, and the normal pills I have in the truck I took out didn't replenish, so I made sure to top all that up. And I'm like, hey, I should make sure the work truck's got it, my bag's got it, even though my bag goes with me almost everywhere. But yeah, just top all that up because it's that time of year where the extreme heat can kind of cause some headaches and stuff like that. So get that, drinking lots and lots of water, and getting ready to travel soon. So travel for work for a few weeks on and off. So revamping some of those supplies to take on the road with me and make sure I got what I need. And then just sweating in places I didn't know I could.
Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
Is that really a prep? Oh, that's a prep.
You come tell me.
I'm good. I'll stay here.
Well, you have to know that it's hot outside to prepare for the hot outside.
Yeah. You got to come feel the dampness, and you can let me know if it's normal.
Not a doctor.
No. As for me, I did a brake job and an oil change on the mighty Ford. I'm getting my camping gear ready for the annual preppers meet, and that's a perfect opportunity to check out a few new items that I got and to put the old ones through another workout again. Make sure all your stuff works. That's the idea of the game.
Yeah. So did you
that?
have to do brakes because the Ford hasn't moved in a while and they were rusty? Or?
No, it takes a lot of effort to slow that beast down. Like those things will go. They'll really go. And
like downhill?
No. They'll go uphill too.
If you go downhill fast enough, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The abuse I gotta take it's just not fair.
It's only because Gunny's not here and we can't bug him about his Toyota.
I know. Yeah. We gotta bug the Toyota guys, or Jeff for that matter.
Yeah, Jeff's Toyota guy too. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, go
We'll
ahead.
have
Greg.
our crosses to bear.
Between yesterday and today, I focused mainly on organization and inventory of all my like emergency meals, like freeze dried stuff, stuff with like a long shelf life that's specifically for bad situations, storms, stuff like that. I repacked my my pack and placed everything in a home, basically giving it its official location in my pack. Packed a bare bones, bottom of the barrel, the bare minimum of what I'd need to survive a low vis pack That way, you never know if you might need to get me home, keep me blended enough to get to another location without standing out. On top of that, I also organized a camping survival day and night with a group of guys to go over different things like securing a location, reconnaissance, stuff like that.
Nice.
Very nice. Awesome. Well, with that, let's move into the main topic. So, tonight's topic, we're talking about just basic skills everyone should know. So, and I see typing in the show notes here, it includes not having a Ford. Makes sense. But actually, that should increase your survival skills because they're constantly breaking down. So
you got to be an engineer to own one, for one. And so that's a good prep. It's a good skill.
Fair enough. It allows you to practice those skills quite often. Yeah. So we wanted to just touch on some basics, kind of give people ideas of skills that they should either already know or brush up on, or things that maybe they don't realize they should know, and just kind of talk about them, touch on a few basics about them if we can, and yeah, so typical show format. I'll come out with a couple ideas. We'll chat about it, and then everybody else on the panel can throw their thoughts and ideas in as well, and we'll just banter back and forth. And of course, the live chat, jump in wherever you want and throw some stuff at us as well. So for basics, we got to start with building a shelter. I think that's where everybody in the preparedness world kind of starts, right? Is the ability to build some form of shelter, whether it be like a lean-to using just some basic tarps, commercial tent, Canadian, so a big snowbank, something like that, a pile of snow, anything to make a shelter, right?
Yeah. A downed tree that hasn't fallen all the way over makes a nice little A-frame kind of thing.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
That's a great point. Yeah, use that with some of your tarps. Or
one thing I always did when I was out in the field, just kind of made things easier. Instead of worrying about knots right off the bat, I went to Walmart, or I think it may have even been Harbor Freight, but I got some camouflage bungee cords, and that way I could literally just hook it to one of the eyelets in my poncho, wrap it around, hook it in, and stretch it out. It was easy to go ahead and relieve pressure off of it, raise it, lower it, and just kind of called we always called it a Ranger diamond, but it's also commonly known as a plow point. And that way, next morning, you get up, literally, boom, boom, and it's getting rolled up back into your pack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
I like it.
But you need to know how to do the knots in case those bungee cords break. But having both,
absolutely, absolutely.
Right? But learn how to make them. But 100%, if you can squeeze those bungee cords in, 100% they will save your butt. Or even small ratchet straps.
I would always use the knots or ratchet straps. I switched to ratchet straps, like bright orange ones, when I go out in the field and train, to hang my hammock. That way I could be set off from my platoon when I was trying to rack out and whatnot. And I was still able to be seen, in a training environment, of course, but makes things a whole lot easier.
That's kind of a good segue into just location considerations, right? You said you'd kind of branch off a little bit from the platoon, but picking the right spot and avoiding, things that could be hazardous to the shelter you're setting up is also a skill in its own, right? Of being able to, evaluate your surroundings and your environment and what's kind of happening there, and just picking the spot to actually set things up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely watch for widowmakers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Very important to look up.
Yes. Yeah, the widowmakers are the opposite of survival.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, go ahead.
For us in the northern climates here, especially in the wintertime, you don't want snow falling down on top of your tarp.
True.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing to keep. You were saying widowmakers, dry riverbeds, or snow falling down on you. Those are all things to look out for.
Yep,
that's a good point.
look at the terrain, make sure you're not setting up in maybe the low point so that if it does rain overnight, you don't end up in a puddle. Try and find high ground. Take the time, get all the debris out of the way, get the rocks out of the way. You think you'll be fine, but sleep on a rock for 5 hours and let me know how you feel in the morning.
Yep.
You can be 20 and you're still gonna
Try
regret
sleeping
it.
at an angle.
Head uphill.
Yeah, head up. Yeah, make sure you head uphill
Yeah.
if you do that.
You're still
a lot
sliding
less of a
down though.
Yep. Yeah, right.
Either way, you're sliding. Yeah.
Yeah, but make sure you're at a high point away from everything, just in case weather changes and everything. You're not waking up in a little pond, and if you're a belly sleeper, you're not waterboarding yourself.
That's important. You don't want to tell yourself your secrets.
No.
Touching on shelter as well, starting a fire. I think that's kind of those are the two main ones that people go to right away when they start thinking about the whole preparedness or emergency preparedness kind of stuff. And starting a fire, there's all kinds of different ways you can do it, but I know we all would like to focus on the rubbing two sticks together and all that kind of stuff. But
That's
a lighter and some matches, right? Lighter and some
Can't
matches.
go wrong with a big lighter.
No.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's just
Get it done that way.
Do it the easy way if you can, but know how to do it the hard way if you can't. Just and have more than one means to start a fire. All of us, right? I always like to have 3.
So
Redundancy.
Kyle in the live chat says you could rub 2 can openers together.
You could. You could create a spark with them.
This is true.
Kirk also up ahead, up before Kyle was Kirk. Yeah. Can opener.
Yeah. So a nice thing, we all want a lighter, one of those rechargeable flameless things or whatever. You can even go look for waterproof matches. But if you have a bunch of candles and you burn candles on a regular basis or buy yourself a candle, you can buy regular matches. And what you do is the part that you need to strike on whatever, dip them and cover them in wax. And then you cut the side with the strip on it, put it in a little water container, even if it's not waterproof, it's not the end of the day. But say you dropped your lighter in the water, for some reason it ran out of gas because it was hitting your keys in your pocket, whatever. Take a little tube out and just regular things. You can take a knife out or whatever, scratch the wax off, even if that's wet. Start up a fire. You can use a match. It'll definitely work. And I mean, buy a candle at the dollar store and a box of matches at the dollar store and spend 20 minutes. It's going to take you no time, and it actually really does work.
I know we said at the
another
beginning
thing
there we got a little bit of lag between us and Greg.
Yes. It's the American thing in taxes.
It is,
and conversion.
Yeah, there's a conversion there. Move across the border and such. Yeah, go ahead, Greg.
So one thing I did when I was actually making my fire starters, my little discs, I actually went to Walmart, and at the beginning of the school year, there's always like that 24-cent pack of crayons. So I raced all the Marines to Walmart, grabbed a bunch of crayons, and I stripped all the paper off of them, and just put them in a double boiler, and I just separated them by like base color, just because that's my OCD, and that's what I use. So you could actually use 24-cent crayons too, and it's going to stretch out pretty far.
That's a good point. And of course, don't forget the practice, the friction fire, the ferro rods, all that kind of stuff. It's all great stuff to know as well. But, if you got that lighter in your pocket or that book of matches or whatever, there's no harm in using those, but have the other skills, of course, as a backup as well. Or, if you want just a cool party trick or, I'm sure there'll be some kind of a competition at the annual preppers meet coming up, because there always is for fire starting. You got that skill all set up.
It usually is. Always
you allowed
an
to bring
entertaining event.
Tiger torches and a propane tank.
No. They usually it's usually a kids event. They get them to go out and gather materials locally, and they have to start it with a ferro rod. And
nice.
It's just a hoot to watch. An absolute hoot.
Yeah.
Some of the inventions they come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And of course, fire safety is something you want to be aware of as well if you're practicing that kind of skill. Just knowing how to do it safely, knowing how to build that fire pit, maintain that fire pit, and ensuring that it's completely extinguished at the end of the day. And of course, monitoring for carbon monoxide, because Alan would be mad if we didn't mention that.
Yes. But a nice thing for fire safety and maintaining it is something, if you're anywhere close to a beach or anything where there's fairly loose dirt, getting a pile of sand or a pile of dirt next to a fire, if it starts getting a little haywire, you can easily choke that out by throwing it all in there. You have to start back from scratch, but way better than causing a giant fire and then leaving all your shit behind where they can figure out it was you that did it.
Yeah.
Yep. This is true. So moving on from fire, figured finding and purifying water is probably the next kind of most important skill set. And these aren't in any kind of order, by say, but that's probably the next thing is being able to locate that water that you can actually utilize and drink, and then being able to purify it so it's safe is, I think, another skill that most people should probably focus on, and is on our list of basics for sure.
Yep.
Anyone have
try and have several means of doing it, more than just one. Try and have three, at least three.
Yep.
I'm a redundancy person. Like at least three.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because if one fails or you can't do it in that location where you found that water source, being able to have a way that actually works in the environment that you're in where you found the water, huge. So having at least three different options is a good idea.
So like just having 3 life straws is good, right?
Only if you're Ian.
Okay.
And you have to letter them A, B, and C, so they're different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would that mean carrying my Silox key?
Yeah, sure.
Fine. That's a means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and
I guess drinking
like
from the fire hose, I guess.
So I've actually got 4 in my kit. I've got I've got a Grail. I've got my stainless bottle set. I've actually got a Sawyer Mini, and I've got, ironically, a life straw. Which I've had that forever. I actually had that before I found out about the Sawyer Minis, and I don't even think I've ever used it.
No, but because it'll get you there. It's not the ideal thing, right? It might be your last resort. But you'd be surprised also if you're just doing this as a small outing and you already know there's water there. You can actually buy purified water bottles that have a purifier in it, right? So you could just dunk your bottle, 1 liter bottle in, screw the cap on, and then when you drink through that, it already pre-filters everything. So depending what you're planning on doing with this, if you've got that for it, that might be a good way to at least get, for example, how hot it is today. If you were doing some work or whatever, you might not have time to boil or chemical treat it and wait the time. Having one of those as, hey, I'm going to use this first until I can get everything else, might also be an option. I don't think they're too expensive. I haven't even looked into them because I'm silly, but it's just one of those things that might be something I can consider as well.
I must confess, don't tell Ian, but I do have a life straw too. I got one. Sorry.
I think you should just email him and let him know you've got one, Terry.
I keep them in the Ford, right? Because redundancy.
Yeah.
You never know.
might as well keep everything that's not cool together.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I have to say I have 2 of them. I've never used one. It's just one of those. It's there if we need it, that kind of thing. I've got 2 Sawyer Minis. I've got another couple of them. Got the Berkey behind me here.
Yep.
That works nicely. It's a good way to do it. Keep some charcoal around as well, and some cheesecloth. Is that what you call it? Sand, pebbles.
Coffee filters is another good pre-filter. Easy to tuck them in your bag somewhere too.
especially if you put coffee beans in it, tastes delicious.
Oh.
That's even better. That's even better.
Takes care of the headaches too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. But that is something if you've got a caffeine dependency, not deficiency. Sorry. Talking about purifying water or whatever. If you drink coffee on a regular basis, I know I get them. If I don't have coffee in the day, about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, I start getting a pounding headache, and nothing takes it away except for coffee.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of instant coffee, but having a pack of instant coffee or two, even the creamers or the coffee whiteners, sorry, and all that might not be bad if you're big into coffee and get those headaches. Definitely figuring out something for your water, and even if you drink it cold, that instant coffee don't taste good, but it'll probably get that headache away. And if you're in a situation where you're stuck somewhere for a day or two and having a pounding headache for 3 days, nobody wants to go through that.
No.
So, moving on from water, foraging for food, another skill that you can actually learn at the annual Preppers meet coming up. At identifying edible plants, right?
I am looking forward to that class.
We always have one, and Karen Stevenson does a really good wild edible walk. You'll thoroughly enjoy that, Brad.
Good.
Yeah.
So at that point, don't worry about bringing instant coffee. You just learn what coffee plants look like, and you'll be all right.
I'm sure they got them growing wild around there.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's how that works. Yeah.
Right beside the beer plant.
And the liquor tree?
Yeah,
The liquor tree.
Yeah.
That was a different kind of tree when I grew up.
I was trying to come up with a joke for that one, but yeah, we'll just leave that one be.
There's plenty of good books out there on foraging as well. But if you can take a class, an in-person class, it's so much better. It's really nice to get that touchy-feely thing with the plants, and it's hard to tell from a picture sometimes, right? So.
Agreed.
And if you're gonna do it on your own, make sure you're within cell reception and maybe take some pictures if your phone's working or whatever. And if things start going sideways and you got to go to the hospital, you kind of be like, I read this book or Google told me I could do this, and then they can help you out and make sure that you're okay. But yeah, at all costs, try and do it as safe as possible.
Yeah, it's definitely a skill that you want to practice with somebody who's already knowledgeable on the subject, because things could go south very quickly. And you don't want to be learning how to forage for edible plants when shit's already hit the fan, right? This is something you want to learn well in advance and be very confident with your decisions, because it could go south very, very quickly.
Shit hit the fan or shit hit the pants?
Both.
Because
if you're wearing pants, it's going to hit the pants and not the fan.
Okay.
Right? If you're not wearing pants, well,
why the fuck do you bring a fan? Like,
hey, you know what? That's a valid question, but maybe it's hot outside. That's why
it's hot outside. And if you're a camper and you got kids, you can make it a fun little game going around identifying plants.
Oh yeah.
We knew it was going
to be a good episode tonight when we were in the pre-show, a little meet up.
We broke Brad. He's on mute, keeled over.
Yeah, he's done.
Well, see you in 10 minutes, Brad.
We are joking, but yes, plants are poisonous. Some of them can give you upset stomach, violent throwing up, cramps, can cause bodily harm,
or just straight up death.
So if you're gonna do stuff, even if you just go for a walk and you think this is good, there's a reliable source somewhere, or you've got someone's email, take a picture of the plants or take some home, take pictures, describe what the whole plant looked like or whatever, and get that information on a basis where obviously not a scenario where you need to eat, but try and do the training and then try and learn the difference between the not good one and good one, and blah blah blah.
And I got a little story I can share. Quick one. I'll try and be quick. But my buddy Brian and I were out there. We're doing the foraging thing there a couple of weeks ago, and Brian decides, "Hey, I'm going to dig up some of those cattails, and we're going to cut those up, and we're going to eat them." Okay, great. So Brian's off, and he's in there rooting up these cattails, and then he looks down and he realizes, "Geez, I'm standing in poison ivy."
Oof.
That's not good.
Situational awareness.
Yeah, he's still got it. He's still got it to this day, but it's getting better. So watch where you forage.
Oh,
Yep.
Now you get to practice your first aid skills.
Yes.
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 one door closed, another one opened.
You got
Exactly.
Now you're
on
hungry
top
and
of-
itchy.
Yeah, exactly. On top of foraging for plants, skill set and just fishing and hunting basics. Doesn't have to be
Yep.
anything crazy. We don't have to be, going after large game or anything like that. Just some basic fishing and basic hunting skills could help you out huge at some point,
Yep.
right? Huh?
Squirrel, rabbit, partridge. You can easily set up little traps. Even guitar strings work as snares if you do it right. Snares are very light. You don't need a $600 fishing rod and a tackle box. Just a hook tied to a stick.
Mhm.
It'll work. Dig for the worm while you're getting the dirt to cover your fire in case it gets out of hand, and stick that on
Yeah.
there, and learn what to do.
Yeah, but having those basics will help you out for sure. And you know what? It's fun to just get out and do those things while times are good, right? So why not build that skill set? And
I
of course,
definitely don't want to be learning that in a bad situation.
no,
No.
definitely not. You want to be comfortable with that skill set well in advance.
Yeah, so I got a friend who's actually watching us right now. Hi, Frank. He just texted me and told me to mention something. He's talking about storing food like meats and veggies and stuff like that without power. Say,
Yeah.
up here with us, we've got a ton of snow. That's why we got our generators, but not everybody has a generator. So instead of focusing on generator, you could, if it's snowing, you can always just build a box out in the snow. It'll be fine out there by itself. But in the summertime, springtime, whatnot, look into pretty much building a root cellar, to going deep in the earth enough. It'll keep it cold. Other than
Great
that,
point.
really, without power, I don't know of anything else that you could do to keep things from rotting or going bad and whatnot, besides dehydrating or smoking, so on and so forth.
Salting.
Eat it all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Eat it all.
Yeah.
Eat it all. Yeah.
Yeah, eat it all. But yeah,
If it's meat like steak or venison or other red meat, you can turn that into what's called pemmican. That's
Yes.
a whole nother thing for a whole nother. There's a bit that goes into that, but I mean, pemmican on average carries about 3,500 calories per pound. So, and it gives you all the nutrients that you would need to stay healthy, keep going, keep energized. But I don't know the recipe right off the top of my head or anything like that. I do actually have it somewhere because I want to try to make it eventually, but I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah. Overkill in the live chat mentions just bottle the meat with a pressure canner. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
yeah. So it is a bit of a science, and it is a little complicated to find. Pressure scanners are very expensive. But yeah, if you can get one and you can find someone to teach you that skill, that's definitely on my to-do list real soon, especially since I found some canners at a store for a very, very good price that we'll discuss after.
Ooh.
Yes.
It's not going to be like the propane incident, is it?
No, because
no.
I visually saw these with the price. It wasn't an internet thing.
Ooh.
Excellent.
As a
Good to
bonus
know.
at the Preppers Meet this year, there's a gal there going to do a quick introduction on canning and pressure canning.
Nice.
So it's only going to be a quickie, but at least it's a little introduction. She'll have the equipment there and talk a bit about it, and answer some questions. So that's something else to look for.
Nice.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, we're talking about all this finding food and finding water sources and such. You're going to need to be able to navigate in order to know where you are and get around. So that's another skill set on the list here of things. So
Yeah.
and just basic navigation. Using a compass and a map Not relying on the GPS on your cell phone, because do I have an episode for you about that?
Yeah. Government will find you, but they're not coming to help.
This is true.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, nothing would suck more than 3 hours of you figured out how to make a fire, you found everything, you built your hut, this that, you start looking for berries and everything, then you can't figure out how to get back to where all your stuff is because you didn't pay attention or know how to just orient yourself and keep track of where you went and compare. Now you're walking around wasting a bunch of calories, and you forgot your book on if you can eat these berries or not. Yeah, so just at least understanding that concept. There's many ways around that. Even if you can't read the compass in a book or compass in a map, we've all been in the dollar store. You can buy those giant rolls of
Trail marking
pink.
tape.
That's it, trail marking tape.
Right.
Having that in your pocket. If you're going for a walk, every 10 feet, tie it onto something. Then on your way back, you can take it with you and use it again. Until it's a skill you're comfortable that whatever, that's a very, very easy, light thing to have with you to keep you on track and know where you were supposed to go back.
it's true.
Very good point.
Yeah, just some basic stuff. Like we said, the whole compass map thing, using the trail marking tape, all that kind of stuff. Using the sun or stars, natural landmarks to kind of point your direction as well. That's a little bit trickier to do, but can be done. All good kind of things to be aware of for
Also,
just practice the skill, right?
Also, learning distance with navigation. Right, a tall object like a church steeple, most people can see it from. I don't remember what the distance is, but let's say it's 20 kilometers away on a clear day, or with no obstructions. Well, it may look 20 kilometers, but it might only be 5 kilometers because it's a small church on a hill. But learn distances, right? So you can gauge where you are. And like you said, Eric, the natural landscapes or natural like waypoints,
The landmarks. Yeah.
landmarks. That's the word I'm looking for. Landmarks in the surroundings. Figure out where you are.
Yeah. And
One
always
thing
remember.
I did learn, it got pointed out to me years ago, was if you're walking in one direction to a specific destination and then you got to go back, every 2 minutes, stop, turn around, remember what it looks like behind you, because it won't look the same as you're going to it to go from it, so to speak. The way there is different than the way back.
Oh, if you forget to do that, just walk backwards the way back. You'll be all right.
Okay.
But just always remember, the sun rises in the south and sets in the north, so you can orient yourself that way.
Oh boy. So nobody listened to Pierre.
No, not tonight. No, so that's not true. It was just a joke. But yeah, learning that it rises in the east and sets in the west.
Yep.
At least you can figure out which way is north-south if you know there's a major street north-ish of where you are, and you just wait as the day goes on. You can figure all that out. But yeah.
Oh, awesome. And it wouldn't be a list of basic skills if we didn't touch on first aid, because
Of course not.
that's something you gotta learn, and something you can learn at the annual preppers meet, because I'm pretty sure they're doing a Stop the Bleed course this year with Gavin.
Yes.
Yes, Kevin's going to do a Stop the Bleed course for us, which is really good. And he should have a little bit of gear available for purchase as well if you don't have anything. So I'm looking forward to that myself. Yes. Take some first aid training. Take some courses. Everybody should have at least a standard level at the bare minimum.
Yep.
More if you can do it. And every member of your family, so that if the main first aider happens to get hurt, then somebody else can come to his rescue.
Yep.
I wish it was taught in high school as a mandatory credit course myself.
100%.
It should be. It should be.
Absolutely correct. It should be.
I said the
Think of how
same
many
thing
lives did
about
you say?
firearm
Really.
firearm
5K in
knowledge.
There's America.
Yep.
Yeah, there's
But he's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong.
We
No,
used to
not at
do
all.
that here. Well, we used to have that here.
Yeah.
In schools. Used to do that. I can tell you stories.
Sure you could.
Yeah.
I'm old enough, right? We've done that stuff.
But a good option, even if you're interested in first aid courses and unsure if funds are there or whatever, always try and get, depending where you work, many people want to have mandatory first aid trainer, certain amount of people on staff at all times, especially if you work at big stores.
Yep.
Volunteer for it. They pay you.
Volunteer.
They'll pay for the course. You get the knowledge. You get whatever. That's always one. They're always looking for people. I'm getting recertified this year. Work's paying for everything. We need someone. I said, I put my hand right up and I was like, mine expired years ago and I just haven't bothered to do it. So I'm like, no, you don't have to take away from your weekend. You don't have to take funds away from anything. You're going to get paid to do it through your work and you get the certificate. They'll recertify if you're there and blah, blah, blah. So definitely an option. I would strongly recommend a lot of people look into that as an option. If
It's a great point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like Terry said, even just your basic first aid and then go from there. But just having that basic skill set of what to do if even just the most basic of things happen and you got to patch somebody up who got a paper cut, right? At least
Takes
you
the
know,
panic out of the situation.
Exactly. Or they cut themselves with their can opener, right? Like, you never know.
Yeah. Everybody's got a can opener.
Yep. Or they should. If they're listening to this podcast, they better have at least two.
Yes.
in each pocket.
Oh boy. So they can bounce them off their trampolines while they're running from carbon monoxide, right?
Yeah.
And the life straws are coming to life.
Yeah.
Everybody should have at least one life straw.
Yeah.
So there's a good question that on the YouTube from Prepared for. Yeah, he's asking about 1019 carbon steel versus stainless. In a get home bag, he's in upstate New York, so similar environment to us. What are your thoughts on the difference in material for durability, probably not rusting and all that stuff?
So, in my opinion on that, while making that call, one thing to take into consideration would be distance on your average travel. If it's something that you're going to be, when you're thinking about using it, are you thinking about, okay, well, it's my defense item. If it is, one, get training for it. But if it's just a defense item, or not just a defense item, I would say go ahead, go with the stainless steel. You're not going to be worrying about blade rolling or chipping or anything like that, But if it's gonna be, there's a chance I've got a little bit more of a haul. I'm all over the place. I'd go 1095 or another one is 1066 from BPS Knives. I've used several of their knives. I use theirs when I want to put a handle on one. They're very affordable. It's a family-owned shop out in Ukraine. I've actually got one sitting on the desk right here that I need to finish. But that's another really good one to look at when you're looking at carbon steel. Just make sure you maintain it. Obviously, up here we do have that wretched thing called snow. And if you're anywhere near the roads, you've got the salt that goes on it. It'll eat metal up, For that, I would say coat your blade in what's called a fix and wax. I've talked about it in some of our previous episodes. You can find recipes to make your own. If you're in New York, you're actually not that far from me. If you want to, hit me up. I think I've actually got some. I'll go ahead and I'll send some out to you.
Perfect.
Awesome.
And then 2 or 3 under that, Kyle mentioned if you're using trail tape, depending if you got some washers or you can add some weight to it. So if it's snowy, the wind, it'll keep it off. Nothing sucks in turning around and all your tape being covered.
It's a great point.
That's a pretty good idea. I don't know if you want to bring 60 washers with you, but tying a rock around the bottom of it or something might help.
Kyle also mentions that we forgot to mention gasifiers when we were talking about
that's true.
can openers and and such.
Life
So,
straws and trampolines.
life straws and trampolines. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good point. We
You
wouldn't
should-
want
you
Scott to feel left out.
Yeah, you should put that on your Ford and probably like get up all the way up the hill.
Oh boy. So speaking of the Ford, we should probably talk about signaling for help.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
'Cause that is something. That's another skill set that's
Usually-
very important.
Usually, when the Ford is on fire, it takes care of that for you.
Well, there's
It's
that.
kind of just
and,
expected, though. I don't think that signals anything. We're just used to seeing
Failing
Fords
that.
on fire.
failing that, you can have a flare gun. But Tesla people, they got the permanent candle going there sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, when those things burn, they burn
Mhm.
forever.
They burn.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's good to
just-
have some
just-
signal.
Yeah, just being able to signal for help if that's something that you want, right? Sometimes people don't want to draw attention to themselves. Sometimes they do. So knowing how to draw that attention to you if you need to seek out the help is probably something important and a skill set you'll want to practice well in advance as well. Because if you're in that kind of situation where you're looking for help and you don't know how to signal for it, you're not learning in the moment.
No.
So
You're
you're best
failing.
to practice that ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And like Terry said,
So,
Smoke.
flare guns are great. Smoke, yep. Smoke always draws attention.
Flare
Mhm.
gun, smoke, a
Blow the
whistle.
horn in your Ford.
Yeah.
If it
Mm.
still
I
works.
always
still
keep
got
a
a battery.
whistle. I
Yeah.
always keep
Fuck,
a
I always
whistle
have a
because it's a
whistle.
whole lot easier to blow a whistle and scream.
Yeah, I always have a
Mhm.
whistle too. So
Yep.
Yeah.
I've heard of glow stick, especially for at
Mm.
night. A glow
Mhm.
stick
Mm,
on
yep.
Yeah.
on a string, and basically you're doing a bit of a like a lasso in front of you,
Like a- so-
fan.
Mhm.
We call those flaming rocks. We actually use that for signaling because there's, instead of like glowing chem lights, they have IR ones that you can only see under night vision.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
we'll actually
Yeah.
twirl those around for signaling and communication, whether it be shift fire, lift fire, anything like that on an objective.
Yeah. And worst comes to worst, all the ravers are going to show up because they think there's a rave and the glow stick on the string. That you
Exactly,
just
and you're good to go.
Yeah, you just go whichever way they came from, and you'll get somewhere. Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know
And
if it's good.
depending on how bad the situation is, you just start tripping them. You ain't got to be the fastest. You just got to not be the slowest.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah. And you know what? Signaling for help. I can't get past this one without mentioning just ham radio or radio in general. That's a way to signal for help. So, you know, I had to throw that one in there.
48
Yep.
minutes in.
Hey, you know, I just
I mean,
like to mention it.
Another thing is, I'm not trying to like throw out a bunch of like brands or anything. It's just stuff that I've seen recently and that I've used personally. But Olight has a I don't know the name of it. You can find it. It literally just clips on your pack, and it has a red strobe setting on it as well as like a normal light. And I want to say it's like $20 or $30 American.
Yeah, so
I
not
don't know
Canuck
what that would
bucks.
be.
So,
Yeah, I
don't know what that would be.
$2,000 Canadian.
But yeah, so that's one that I've had my eye on. And I've got lights on literally, I don't know how many firearms right now.
Don't tell us. We don't want to know.
All
we
of
don't
them,
want to.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
spares in a knapsack.
probably.
But if you get a signal for help, going back to if you learn how to use a compass, the good compasses, they've got a cover, it's got a mirror on it, you use a string and you can draw your bearings and you can walk, blah blah blah. So
Mhm.
learning how to use that mirror to annoy the passenger in the vehicle is definitely a skill that you might have to do that to someone in an airplane, a vehicle driving by, something. But yeah, just using little things like that, or go to the dollar store and pick up those $2 pocket mirrors. They close, for
Mhm.
makeup. Just keep it closed, throw it in your pack. It'll work, even if it's broken. A small shark can do whatever. Be safe with it, so you don't cut your hands and blah blah blah. But little things like that can definitely help out if you got to signal something that is a little out of shouting distance.
No, it's true.
Agreed.
After signaling, personal safety and security. Again, I think another skill set that everybody should have at least a basic knowledge on is
Run the other way.
exactly. When in doubt, run the other way. Yep.
Faster than the ravers.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Trip them
right.
on the way.
Yeah. Or even
Drop
just
your glow stick.
drop your
Just
glow
keep
stick.
dropping.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just run. Throw your stuff. Throw a couple can openers, decoy can openers.
Yeah.
Throw them off to the side, right?
Yeah.
Very
When they
important.
try and open up a can, it buzzes their hand like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. That's like some kind of martial art or self protection kind of course. Couldn't hurt to have. Get your physical fitness up as well, right?
Yeah.
And chances are you'll meet some like-minded individuals because everyone's there kind of for the same reasons.
Mhm.
Yep.
So I think that's another thing we're covering at the annual preppers meet too. That's strange, isn't it, Terry? Is Brian coming out
always
this year for
there. Pardon?
that? Brian coming out again this year for that?
Brian is going to be there. He's going to have some basic combative skills, as he usually does. Sherry D is going to be there too. She may or may not. I kind of forget what Sherry's doing this year. I'd have to look it up on the schedule, but she usually does for ladies, right? So
That's good.
some hiding skills. So yeah,
The,
there's always something there.
well, the chuckling in the background there from Brad, I assume, is from Kirk's comment.
Oh,
a
yes.
45 caliber can opener.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've always wanted
That's
to
my
start up the
long-distance hole
44
punch
Magnum
right there.
religion.
Yeah.
Count me in.
We need that up
Mine's
here in
right
Canada.
Too bad we can't see it.
No, well, it's probably for the
no.
best because
Yeah.
the YouTubes would kick us off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darn YouTubes.
We've got to make it part of the religion so that we can
Yeah.
carry it.
Right.
That's the idea.
But
And
the
I'm
can
going to be
opener?
the grand priest.
I
And you
was gonna
send
say,
me
let
money,
know how that works. Let me
bullets.
know how that works for
Send me
Terry.
money, bullets, and the 44 Magnum. And yeah, maybe next year I'll start that up. Sorry,
Let's see.
I
We'll
digress.
see.
Back in my day.
Oh boy, here we go.
60 years ago.
Somebody call Scott.
Oh,
And of course, last on my list here is just mental preparedness. Right? That's a skill set that we could all work on as well. If you haven't listened to episode 233, where we had Don Mann on, check that episode out because that's the whole focus of the entire episode. So it's
That was good.
definitely that was a fantastic episode. I rather enjoyed that episode.
I bought his book. It was good. It's good.
Yeah.
Good
That
stuff.
book is good as well.
Yeah.
So, that's just being able to practice things like staying calm, having that positive mindset and your situational awareness. All of that is going to help you out tenfold if things go south and are not going the way we're used to them being right now. Right? So, so practicing that mental preparedness is a huge part that is not often talked about.
Agreed. And it's hard to do. It takes years and years and years and constant practice to not freak out and give up and all those things. And if you can stay calm, it would help. But
yes.
Just want to touch real quick on the personal safety and security. I always have 2-3 padlocks in my bag. Get into a situation, urban environment, obviously in this scenario, you can make your way down a hallway or down a path, and you can close a gate and put a lock on it and never see that lock again. Slow something down, can easily get out of a scenario like that. They don't weigh much. Make sure you got keys with you. You can lock yourself in somewhere if needed. If a situation where you're trying to get home and something's
Good
not
point.
going right, you can barricade yourself in, try and stay safe, do whatever. A padlock or two in your bag for what it can do to save you is well worth the wait, in my opinion. But,
You can put it onto a string and throw the string at something or someone, or put it up in a tree.
Once
or...
after you get the ravers there with the glow stick, though.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Just a weight.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I know what I'm bringing to the preppers meet.
A couple glow sticks.
Oh, I thought he was going to talk about a few strings with locks on them.
No, I'm gonna put glow sticks all over a camper.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else anyone on the panel want to touch on or discuss? Or
Well, I kind of went the opposite way.
all right, we're used to that with you, Brad.
A little bit with skills you had said that everybody should know, and went more of like the homeowner's route of just general stuff like basic electrical, basic plumbing, how to wire a circuit, how to fix a clog in the drains, how to replace a drain if needed, shingle a roof. We got bad weather up here and it's getting worse. If you had bad windstorm, like the windstorm that knocked your antenna down, what if it tore off a whole bunch of the shingles on your roof? Do you know how to replace them correctly?
Call a roofer.
Well, he's busy dealing with everybody else's house, and you got to pay him money.
This is true. Yep.
Yeah, but only 5-6 shingles came off. You want to damage it, keep a stack or two in the shed.
Yeah.
Do you know how to get up there? You may not have all the tools. You got to do it by hand, but understanding how to do it properly can save you thousands and days of waiting and constant phone tag.
Yes. So like even like a good tarp and some
life straws.
That too.
True,
roofing shingles, roofing nails to get up there and be able to at least try to mitigate the leak.
Yep.
That's most inevitably going to happen. As well, like we were talking before, that I have that generator to solve. Why the power goes out? How are you gonna, if you're not set for it, can you wire something up quickly to be able to run some stuff in your house if you don't have things already set for it?
Turn the lights on the Ford lawn ornament and just point it towards the house.
Sure. That could work too.
Has to start first.
If you got a fireplace, do you know how to clean the chimney correctly?
Yep.
You just buy a new place and there's this beautiful looking fireplace, or even like either the built-in ones or the wood stoves, or is what I'm thinking of. Do you know how to clean it? Do you know how to maintain it? It's a skill you're going to have.
Great point.
And then like we touched on other stuff there, the how to make a fire, how to construct a shelter, but learn your environment. You can. I have 1/3 of an acre here, and if my house burnt down, I can still live on my property by using what I have available to me for at least a weekend, or God forbid the asteroid missed the trampoline that I put out and hit my house instead. And that
was just poor planning, Brad.
Well, yeah, but I can do that on my place without an issue.
Yep.
Learn to do the same at your house.
Yeah, those are great points.
What do you have right at your property now that you can use to survive for a weekend?
Yep.
No, fantastic points. I see we have someone chirping us in the live chat here.
Yeah, I see that.
Someone, Jeff here mentions not bad for a bunch of amateurs. Chirp away. Notice you didn't show up today, Jeff.
Yeah, get on here and show us how it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let me know how that prune juice is going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Yeah, said he had to get home and go to bed, and yet he's still up. Now he's chirping us. What the heck?
The
Awesome.
only thing I'd
Anyone
like to,
else?
the only
ahead,
thing
Greg.
I'd like to add is try and get some good books on skills. 'Cause if you have it saved electronically, that stuff can disappear. Of course, books can disappear, and you maybe don't have it with you, but so it's good to have that, and those are transferable skills that you can pass on to others to learn as well. So it's good to
true.
have.
Knowledge
Great
can't
point.
be stolen.
It's good to have a little bit of a library of things.
It's a great point. Yeah, have it have physical format and in digital format, right? Either or will work for you.
Yeah, have it in both. Again, that
So
redundancy thing. Have it in more than one format.
Yep.
I
Go for
put
it, Greg.
in de-escalation and communication,
Yeah.
communication tactics. There's been several instances when I was working in the prisons where literally all I'd have to do is walk in and just talk to them, and that's literally kept people from getting stabbed. It doesn't always work, but if it can slow down a situation and let you get out of there or completely de-escalate it, then you're good. 9 times out of 10, I mean, just looking at somebody, being able to read their body language, look at what they're wearing. Like, obviously, if I see somebody wearing an army jacket or an army shirt, okay, cool, man. What was your MOS? Easy. Like, so if I see somebody's wearing an army shirt or, a Marine Corps shirt or Navy or Air Force, whatever, I can possibly figure out by their age or the way they're carrying themselves that this might, trail back to that. But now I have that common ground to be able to bring them home, if that makes sense to y'all.
Building some
but-
rapport, right?
Exactly. Just some way of bringing them to you. Take their attention away from what they're aggressive towards. Because if you're out and about, you may not always be the target, but you may be affected by what's going on. You could just be out to dinner with your family, and next thing you know, this couple over here is getting heated, and not in a fun way. But now you're affected. This dude's bowing up. He's wearing a jacket. You don't know if he's got a gun. He's got a knife. He's going to start swinging. He's going to start, doing whatever. But if you can bring him home, then, chances are you're going to get back to the house with your family.
Well, that's a great point. The whole de-escalation thing is, again, something that people don't really talk about, but that's huge. Being able to just talk to people and build that rapport with them, and you can completely steer a really bad situation into a not so bad situation, or just get yourself out of it. Huge, and that you got to practice that one. That's not one that you can just do.
Yeah,
for sure. That's a practicable
that's
skill.
Just
for sure.
that's not a skill that's just developed overnight. It takes a lot of, like I said, being able to build a common ground, body language, an eye twitch, anything like that, if you're talking to them and you see their body tense up or something, obviously don't say whatever the hell you just said.
Yep.
But it's
something I feel that is a good teaching tool for doing that kind of de-escalation and the communication and the reading the body language and all those things. Go and be in customer service.
Mm-hmm.
Go and
Good
be
point.
in customer service.
Yep. Great
Yeah,
point.
you'll meet all kinds there.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
People are the worst.
Just
a
try
lot
not
of
to
people are the worst, yes, but yeah, go and be in customer service and learn to deal with a very angry person coming at you, demanding answers, and see how well you do there.
Yep.
If you can do that well, Greg, I'd be hard pressed to find a customer service representative that couldn't de-escalate the same situation you said.
Yeah, exactly. I agree, because a lot of times, especially if it's career, if it's career, you don't handle that, then that could be your job. That's your house, that's your family, that's your food, that's everything. I was working a second job not too long ago at Tractor Supply down the road, and just so I could utilize some discounts for a little bit. But I had a guy come in, and he was hot. He was hot because there wasn't any cracked corn out on the floor. Like, he was pitching a fit. Well, I only worked the truck days, and it was literally for that reason. So one of the ladies that I worked with came in and was talking about, this guy's out here raising cane because we don't have no crack corn. Well, I just hadn't been able to push the pallet out there yet. I had to get to it, Well, I just go out there. I throw 2 50-pound bags on one shoulder and a 50-pound bag on the other. He wanted 3 of them. And I was like, is this what you wanted? And just dropped it right on his little trolley. And he was just looked at me. I was like, is that what you was looking for? And he was like, all right, I can quit being an ass now. And I just kind of smiled, and I was like, is there anything else I can do for you? Especially being up here when you sound like me. Like, people are like confused, like, where did the giant pan of cornbread come from? They hide me away.
But you're bang on with that point. The de-escalation thing is something that you should learn as well. Just to have that in your back pocket, just in case you ever need to pull it out and use it to get yourself out of a situation.
Yeah.
Robert in the live chat has a good point as well. Mentions you can always use a book for fire starter. Can't do that with a thumb drive.
There you
Not
go.
bad attitude.
Yeah.
So those waterproof matches that Pure Touch you had to make will light the fire with the book that Terry provided for you, with the knowledge that you gained out of it, and now you can build a shelter, purify some water, get some
just
meat.
don't burn the shelter page.
Yeah. But you can do all those things with one book and one match.
Yeah.
But do that with a thumb drive.
Oh. So anybody have any last minute thoughts before we move along?
No, just all simple things you can all try out on a weekend in your backyard, as long as you don't,
Burn
in
the
most
house
places. Down. Yeah.
Practice.
We had a fire here not that long ago. We cook outside all the time because it's hot. So we don't want to heat the house up with the oven and all that. So cook the bacon wrapped asparagus and everything outside.
How many made it to the plate?
I've been told I shouldn't answer this question. But those little skills, you can all do this on the weekend thing. You don't have to go out and survive for a weekend, but just learn one thing at a time over the span of the summer. I mean, hopefully we don't need it all next week, but do what you can. Do it bit by bit.
You got it. All right. With that, let's move into upcoming events, because we've mentioned it throughout the episode here, but the annual Preppers Meet is soon upon us.
5 days.
Yep, the 10th annual Preppers Meet begins on Thursday, the 11th of July, and runs right through to Sunday, the 14th. New venue at the Slovenian Hunting and Fishing Club just outside of Alliston, Ontario. And a super bunch of presenters and speakers we're going to have. It's going to be really good. And our very own Frugal Gunny is going to be there, giving us a lesson on mobility and prepper survival strategy. He's going to have his Toyota there, and he's going to have her loaded up with gear.
So if you got a Ford that needs to be boosted.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to park right beside that Toyota, and we're gonna duke
In
it
case
out.
you need a boost.
Yeah, in case he needs a boost.
Yeah, well,
Beat me to it.
notice how he's not coming with the Ford because he probably wouldn't make it.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Anyway, it's going to be good. So
Yep.
you can. Eric's posted the website there, so you can go get some details on the schedule and the timing, and buy your tickets ahead of time if you want, and get all ready for it. Or visit our Facebook group and get the latest details as we count down a couple more days.
Or
I'm excited. It's going to be
Brad's
good. It's
excited.
always good. It's always good. So
Yeah. Eric's going to be there doing a presentation.
Mhm.
Brad's coming. Jeff's coming.
Yep.
We just
Brugel's
couldn't get
coming.
Pierre to come this year.
Nope.
not this year.
But-
It's coming next year.
Yeah, next year.
And don't forget, hunt down Brad and mention you're from the government. You're here to help, and he may have some swag for you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Few pieces of swag.
Yes.
Pieces of swag. Yep. So find him early.
Yeah.
All right. With that, I'll bring episode number 242 of the Canadian Prepper Podcast to an end. You can find the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or really your favorite podcast app. I'm pretty sure we're out in all of them by now. Please do submit a review wherever you listen. It does encourage the algorithms and just helps other people find us.
And we record these shows live on YouTube, Facebook if you must. If you want an early peek at the show, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Canadian Prepper Podcast, and click the notifications tab. It gives you an alert when we are going live. You can also contact me at batbradcpp@gmail.com, and I'm sometimes on the Discord.
America.
Greg, wake up.
Sorry about that.
Greg.
Computer issues.
I was about to say, I was like, that drink kicked in.
gmail.com.
I was like, that drink kicked
at
in.
gmail.com, and and I'm sometimes on the Discord as well.
You can find me off the wall customizing at gmail.com. I think we're still on the Tickety Talk. I don't know. I am on the Discord for this one. It was good, and I opened up the chat and I went through all the notifications. Then I forgot about it and I haven't done anything. Or you can find me Monday nights on the other CPP, the Canadian Patriot Podcast, on YouTube's at 9, where we critique the government.
And me, you can find me on the Annual Preppers Meet Facebook page or at my email, terrylblackmore@hotmail.com. I rarely look at the Discord thing, but yeah, maybe I should.
All right, you can check out Rapid Survival at rapidsurvival.com and get me there on the live chat. You can also email feedback at prepperpodcast.ca. I do tend to poke around the Discord here and there as well, but yeah, I check it. I respond to a bunch of stuff. I get busy. I wash, rinse, repeat, but I do hang out there as well. So thanks for joining us. Until next time, be prepared, stay safe,
and keep on learning.